How you doing? This is the steel test today. It should be a good one. We're testing the M390 steel on the Line Steel TRE. So if you're new to these tests, what I've been doing is testing every steel that I've come across in a pocket knife or in a knife at all. I've tried to keep some consistencies. There are a couple of variables that I haven't been able to eliminate, and I'm trying to get a pretty decent benchmark on all the steels as to what they can perform at. So the consistencies, the constants of the tests are that the material that I'm cutting is the same. It's been the Sisal rope, the 10mm thick diameter sort of fibrous rope. Every knife edge has been the same, so unless it was the Scandi ones, which I categorized separately in the results. So every knife has a work sharp kitchen knife edge on it, so it's a micro convex edge bevel. So every knife has had that so far. I'm cutting on the same chopping board. I'm examining the edge, edge holding ability by just cutting a piece of A4 paper, and what I do is I cut on the rope until it gets to a point where the knife perhaps isn't feeling as flash anymore, or even just once it's past a certain amount of cuts. Then I'll test it continuously on the paper, and once it no longer reliably slices through the paper, as in like a nice sliding cut, then that's when it's a the test is over, and that's the eventual result of how many passes through the rope it did. So you can see at the end of the video the current results for all of them up until the one that the subject of that video was about. So as this is the most recent video at this date, the 3rd of March, this will be the most up-to-date end tally. So I thought I'd just add this little bit at the start. The variables that I haven't been able to eliminate are the Rockwell hardness. So, and I know that's a fairly important part of it, but you're very rarely going to be able to find knives with the. You can get knives with different steels, get knives with the same steels, but trying to sync up on Rockwell hardness, especially when lots of knives say between 57 and 59, for example. So it's just nothing I've been able to really remedy. So overall, though, I've been noticing the data is pretty consistent, and when there has been a surprising low, you probably can chalk that up to a lower Rockwell hardness rather than perhaps anything else really going on. So anyway, just a bit of an introduction for people who aren't familiar. Let's get towards the cutting section of this test. So M390 should be a pretty well-performing steel. It's probably regarded as if the best blade steel going at the moment for production pocket knives. So it's got some qualities that we all like. So it's stainless. It does hold its edge for a while. It's fairly tough as well. Survive knives, use them in survival knives for impact cutting tasks. So M390. Interested to see how this one does. So in one take, I'll just be cutting through the rope, and then I'll be slowing it down and telling you exactly how many passes it did, and then you'll be able to compare at the end when the list comes up as to how it did. So let's get into it. well, we have a new winner. What an amazing steel. That was really, really hard on my hand. Watching the footage back, I seemed to start struggling probably about 190, 200 cuts in. I remember the same was with the S110V and stuff. The knife was really doing well passing through the rope, and probably till about maybe 250 cuts, and then it was feeling a little bit less good, which is why I was so surprised when it still sliced the paper so well. And even now, really, that's not a laughable edge. Like, if I pushed and if I sliced down, like pushed into my thumb and sliced, it would cut my thumb open still. It's just, not so, let's see. I mean, it's still rough. It still does kind of rough slice paper if you really concentrate. Wow. I wouldn't be surprised if this would probably hit with the factory edge. The work sharp changes the geometry a little bit. With the factory edge simple V grind, I reckon this might even go to 400 or something. I don't know. I'm not sure if the convex dulls quicker or slower, but probably a little bit quicker, I would say. When it comes to shaving paper sharp. It stays working well, which is probably what's happening right now. It's still a good working edge, but anyway. One of the constant I forgot to say is that I used this front portion of the blade for the whole test. So back here, still razor sharp. It's just so here is kind of the dull part, or the duller part. So M390 steel, people, that's it's the best one I've had so far. So I've been really interested to see how something like Maximet would go up against it, or something like ZDP 189 for example as well. That's 100 passes more than M4, which is a really impressive steel, and also is a non-stainless steel, whereas this is even a pretty stainless steel still. So voodoo going on in this stuff. Very, very impressive. Alrighty, hopefully found this interesting. Stand by for the review of the TRE, which I'll have then sharpened the knife by now. I'll be able to let you know how the steel sharpens, and I'll also do like a comparison with the Mantra too, or the Mantra 1, 2 also. Alright, I'll see you in the next videos, guys.